Hi, this is Amy Lewis with Cisco Marketing, and we're here for another episode of Engineers Unplugged. We have some great guests on today. We've got Dave and we've got Chris, and they're going to be talking about everything buzzy in end-user computing. So great episode. I'm going to pass it off to Dave, and here we go.
All right, so to go in real quick, one of the things that we're seeing right now in end-user computing is flash-based arrays, kind of making a play in the space. Worldwide technology, a lot of our solutions involve something like a Texas memory or a violin flash-based array, whether that be for the actual base master of the VM, or whether or not that be something around the profile or even a terminal server that may be running on that flash array to get those IOPS. So it's really something interesting that we're seeing in the space right now, and I know NetApp's got some stuff around that as well right now.
Absolutely. So we've just come out with a big flash announcement last week, the EF540, which is the first shipping all-flash array brought to you by NetApp, and we announced the new Flash Ray product as well. And that's a purpose-built from the ground up flash-based system that is being engineered to take advantage of what flash can actually do. And so we're taking the 20 years of experience that NetApp has with enterprise-class storage, taking the goodness of what we do with deduplication, compression, and adding that to a flash-based system that can really utilize the full power of a flash system.
Okay. Now, I know that you guys are doing some stuff around the APIs as far as being more efficient with the cloning of the virtual desktops and things like that. You know, you want to touch on the View Composer integration that NetApp's doing right now. I think that's really interesting, and I could tell you the story, but it's probably better coming from NetApp.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I've been really, really excited about this for the 5 years that I've been doing end-user computing, because we have this technology that and multiple vendors have technologies that create storage-efficient and high-performing clones. The issue that we see in the marketplace today is being addressed by these flash vendors is that hypervisor-based clones don't have the best performance. And the reason why they don't is because they have to read and write metadata to understand where that data actually lives for the clone. And so by introducing this integration with VMware, we're now able to leverage our cloning capabilities to create a higher performing and at the end of the day, a lower cost clone. So our customers don't have to look at different architectures to support VMware View-based infrastructures or just end-user computing infrastructures in general because of the better performance of the VCAI integration, leveraging our clones.
So I think you touched on something really important there, which is when doing VDI, the one thing that you really need to make sure you're doing properly is accounting for the amount of IOPS that your virtual desktops are going to need. That's during boot, that's at login, that's during operation, and that's potentially during recompose style, refit operations. And a lot of people don't take that into account, and they experience negative performance because of it. And so the flash-based arrays and everything that we're talking about here really are meant to address that. Another technology that we really like in the space is from Atlantis Computing. For a lot of vendors or a lot of customers who have maybe started a VDI implementation or looking at it from an architectural perspective, they're trying to drive down that cost of storage because that's one of the most expensive parts of doing VDI. Or maybe you already have storage and it just isn't providing the right amount of IOPS. I'm not going to give you a whole spiel on what they do, but their technology from a software perspective is very powerful to help you to lower your overall total cost. So, we're talking about how lowering IOPS. In the end-user computing space, you've got persona virtualization, you've got application virtualization, you've got all these things that you do to lighten the space, right? So, Chris, you've been doing EUC for a long time. What are your thoughts on persona virtualization, how that affects the overall storage architecture?
Absolutely. So in doing some tests around using profile management solutions, using home directory solutions, you can alleviate some of those penalties that using a hypervisor-based clone creates. And this really expands the conversation then, because it's more than just the actual desktop. Yeah, we need to store those replicas and the clones themselves, but it's really about the entire solution. And when we start to talk about that, that's where things like scale-out architectures, where we can serve multiple types of data and provide that horizontal and vertical scalability within a particular solution really comes into play. So I can have a single storage system being able to provide not only my virtual machines, maybe using some sort of Atlantis computing software, but also using things to do my persona management, my user home directory, where the majority of your company's IP lives, to be able to do things like backup and replicate those. So when you take a step back, it's much more than just the virtual machine. It's about the entire solution and how our customers are able to leverage the storage technologies to be able to drive down costs and really improve end user experience.
So I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head in that, when you're doing VDI, it is a solution. And I think one of the, I talk about the five key pillars of successful VDI a lot with our customers, and one of those pillars is definitely storage, right? I mean, that's really a key piece. And so I think that, when looking at that, as long as you're looking at storage, you're accounting for your IOPS, you're looking at things like application virtualization, you're looking at things like persona virtualization, really, you can be successful with VDI. So I think that's kind of the landscape as I see it right now.
And another thing that being a storage guy, really understanding what's going on within the environment and doing proper assessments, I think is really the key to not guessing, right? We've partnered with companies like Liquidware Labs to provide assessment software to our partners and to our customers for free, so that our partners can then go in and use that software to provide services to their customers to get it right the first time. And how much time have you seen wasted in companies that are not doing their due diligence up front and end up having to re-architect over and over? What's your experience with that?
Yeah, so that's definitely one of the five key pillars for me. The first one being what I call the feasibility assessment, right? Taking those tools, assessing the virtual desktop environment or the desktop environment, and figuring out what your IOPS are. And so taking that and having data, you can do the math to figure out what you need. Right? It's people who have issues are people who guesstimate, right? Or people who don't accurately, I'm sure we can get 100 desktops on. That's really dangerous. And so, we want to step in, get the data, and then to go back through, so feasibility assessment, pillars are application virtualization, persona virtualization, storage IO control, and antivirus offload. If you're looking at those 5 things when looking to do VDI, you can be successful. That's the key takeaway. And the first one is feasibility assessment. Get that data from either Liquidware Labs or whether it be a Lakeside. There's a lot of different tools out there that can provide you with that data.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Well put.
So great conversation, and longtime viewers, you know what time it is. It's unicorn time. So it's time for the Unicorn Challenge. Are you ready?
I don't know what the Unicorn Challenge is.
Oh, good. That's even better.
This is a surprise. Okay.
I love that part. Okay, we're going to ask you to draw a unicorn. This is all about can we get here. You can decide, is it collaborative? Do you try competitive unicorns? Go. It's unicorn time.
I'll take the back end.
Back end? Okay, start with the back. You're going that way with the horse? Okay, so you're going up here, got a little horse's head, and you're going the right.
This is fantastic. Can you see? Look at this teamwork. Wow. Viewers, what a breakthrough. I mean, when you think about the virtualized solution, because there is so much complexity, look at the simplicity they're offering us. They're showing us how teamwork can work.
Was this a Cisco NetApp worldwide partnership right there?
Yes, it is.
It's groundbreaking.
I think, I'm in marketing. That's our new logo. So you can look for us somewhere. We'll find a combination of our name, and that will be our logo.
I like that.
So thank you so much for joining us this week. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Dave. And we'll see you next time on Engineers Unplugged.